Miami. How about some Monday Night Basketball? How about a doubleheader? Lakers or Orlando follow. We begin with San Antonio and Miami. You have the team with the best record in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs, led by the future Hall of Famer Tim Duncan, and LeBron of the Heat, trying to get things going in the right direction. Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Heather Cox. Live look on a 70-degree night here in South Florida, set for the 54-12 Spurs and the 45-21 Heat, as Tim Duncan and LeBron James take center stage here tonight. Our starting lineups for San Antonio: Parker Ginobili, Richard Jefferson, Tim Duncan, and Antonio McDyess back in the starting lineup last couple of games. We'll explain that as we go along. And for Miami, it's a starting lineup they've had for about 10 games now. Mario Chalmers with Wade, James, and Bosch, and Eric Dampier has been that adjustment as he's been the starting center. Here's Heather Cox.
Mike, the last time these two teams met 10 days ago, the Spurs handed the Heat their worst loss of the season, and the memories certainly remain, and it set the tone for tonight. Chris Bosch told me it was horrendous, saying this is a night about redemption. I've watched it probably 50 times. It was painful to watch. Now, Eric Spoelstra today called that game a horror show, saying tonight we can't make any excuses. We must continue establishing our identity. But LeBron, he had a different take when reliving the loss, saying we got beat too bad to use it as motivation. Certain games you throw out, that was one of them. But Mike, Spurs coach Greg Popovich disagrees, believing the Heat will take the court tonight with something to prove, seeking redemption. Look for a quick start from the Heat, guys.
And you would think that, Heather, especially Hubie, the way we saw Miami come out, beat the Lakers in that tight game, finally get over that hurdle of we can't finish late. And then Memphis, they were just dominant right out of the gate, winning here Saturday.
Mike, we've seen them this year give us a half of great basketball at both ends of the floor. Then in third and fourth quarter, they would slowly give up more points than they score. In the last two, they've been consistent for 48 minutes at the defensive end and then scoring with the execution.
Spurs in white get the first possession, and here is the veteran Antonio McDyess, who has hinted that this will be his last year, but he's back in the starting lineup more for defensive purposes, and he knocks down the game's first basket.
Mike, he's one of the best in the league in that midpoint area, halfway between the basket and the sideline.
Wade coming off a fabulous game against Memphis on Saturday. Filled the stat sheet, topped by 28 points. Eric Dampier cleans up inside and gets the first two for the Heat.
I like what we saw that time. Ginobili laid off Wade, played him for the drive, and then got a piece of that shot.
Duncan watched by Bosch. Jefferson attacking from the top. McDyess to miss, and back come the Heat.
A lot of pressure tonight on both teams to keep the star players out of the painted area off the dribble.
Isolate James on Jefferson. Chalmers finds Bosch. And dice the board for the Spurs. San Antonio, winner in their last game out over Houston on Saturday, as Parker goes all the way to give the Spurs a 2-point lead.
One of the best finishers ever in the history of this game, especially for his size. He's about 6'2", 6'3", and then the fact that he can score with either hand in the paint is amazing.
Spurs ball.
He just loves to attack the rim, Mike, and they give him the green light. You saw right there, he attacked two players, split them, and then finishes. He has an uncanny way of getting in there and playing the glass.
Hard to believe this is his 10th year in the league.
Yes, it is. You're right, Mike. You and I are getting old.
Jefferson off the mark. And Bosch the rebound for the Heat. No for Wade, and back come the Spurs, who hit everything they looked at in that game Heather talked about a couple of weeks ago in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's discipline right there.
What do you mean?
Well, he could have shot that very easily, and that's one of his best shots. But their emphasis is ball movement, swing from one side of the floor to the other, play the shot clock, and get high percentage shots. And it's hard not to shoot a ball like that. But we all know when you play for the Spurs, it's all about discipline and sacrifice. Parker and Ginobili are leading a team in shot attempts. 13 a game. That's all they take, 13.
Now Duncan takes it.
There you go.
And knocks it down. Tim Duncan All NBA, 13 consecutive years, 9 of those years, first team All-League. Wade had it knocked from behind by Ginobili, and in the traffic, Ginobili able to still come away with it with an advantage. Parker baseline. Not the place he usually uses the teardrop.
Well, he was behind the board, Mike. That was an extremely difficult angle.
Wade to Bosch.
Main thing when you go by Ginobili, it's not over because he loves to reach in from behind once you get out there and penetrate to the rim.
One of the biggest differences with this Spurs team this year is McDyess hits a field goal from the same spot he did to start the game. They are looking to initiate offense early and often, and they keep doing it. And Greg Popovich said, we want to keep doing it all the way into the playoffs. We're not going to stop what's gotten us to 54 and 12. Bosch knocks it down again.
Well, Mike, tonight we have the two best differential teams in the league. We have San Antonio second, and then Miami first. Now, Miami right now is 6.8, and then the other team is 6.7. That's an amazing stat. They play at both ends of the floor.
Parker fading to his left, missed. For those not familiar with that stat, difference between your points and the opponent's points, it's incredible. Over the years you watch,
right,
that thing is in almost direct alignment with overall records. Bit of a foul on this end on Jefferson.
Mike, you'll have a great record at the end of the season, and most of all, it tells you that you have an opportunity to win and go right through to the playoffs, providing you stay injury-free to your key 8 or 9-man rotation. It's early going, Mike. San Antonio, they're getting an awful lot of open shots at the basket.
Nice speed from Wade. James inside. Had Duncan waiting. They couldn't get to the other side of the rim, and here comes Parker. You've watched San Antonio a lot on TV this year. Do you like the way they've changed their offense? Duncan, the great move there, denied. And Ginobili misses the three.
I like the way they're playing because they're up to 103 points a game. They can't play you those close games anymore, mainly because the team, their 9-man rotation is not as good defensively as in the past years.
You look at the leaders on this team. Ginobili leads them in points. Spread out. Parker in field goals. Bonner top 3-point shooter in the league, and Duncan rebounds. But you're right. The guys they had in their roster in the past more constructed for defense first. This is a great offensive group. Duncan knocks down 2 outside shots.
He can make that shot all night long. We all know that he shoots a high percentage in the middle of the floor, 18 to 20 feet. He's not going to force anything from that area. Remember, he's only playing 28 minutes a game this year.
Chalmers draws the contact and the foul on Tony Parker.
Now we have Timmy Duncan here. Right now you see that off the dribble, they're going to try to take away the paint. That's wide open for Duncan. Now think about this. Ginobili and Parker only take 13 shots a game. Tim Duncan, as great as he is, 13 years All-NBA, first, second, or third team, is only getting 11 shots a game. Mainly because of 28 minutes, but also because he's all about team play. Reverse the ball, set up other people, and let's do it as a group.
And you see the numbers drastically down. At first you say, wow, the guy's declining. Well, Popovich very careful with the minutes, that first column on the left. And those minutes will obviously go up in the next month with the playoffs.
Oh, sure. At playoff time, you know, Mike, he's going to play 38 to 40 minutes. We know that. But the strategy to rest the players has just been absolutely phenomenal with this record.
Was fined inside of Duncan, who has 3 field goals. We mentioned McDyess in the starting lineup. Greg Popovich really off that Laker game 8 days ago. Lakers come in and blow out the Spurs. He wanted to see better half-court defense right from the start of the game so it doesn't get away. Buzz Duncan replaced DeJuan Blair.
Tough shot.
Wade denied inside. Here come the Spurs and Ginobili.
Oh, you knew that.
Campiro push for this great open court team. 2 Spurs shut the paint off on Wade, and Popovich made that a priority defensively. They didn't stop him that time.
He's not going to hold up. He surveyed the situation. He didn't have any cutters, so he knew that he was isolated in a one-on-one situation. There's no one better off the dribble from that area of the floor going to the rim. Now just keep an eye on this now. There's the explosion. He beats the rotation. Now at the other end, Duncan is just sizing you up. I like what the Spurs are getting. They're getting high percentage shots.
Duncan has 6. Early 3-point lead for the Spurs. Week and a half ago, it was not pretty in San Antonio. Spurs won by 30, led by 24, and set a franchise record for three-pointers made 17. Miami tried to hit the delete button as quickly as possible.
It was a bad game. I've watched it about 50 times, and it was just a bad game. We didn't do anything right. We didn't move the ball. We didn't play together. We didn't do our defense right. They just picked us apart.
We've got to figure out if we're serious about being a championship contending team, we got to figure out how we're going to play against championship caliber teams. And you know, we did that the other night against the Lakers. Memphis has been playing really well lately, but San Antonio's there. They've proven they've been there. They've done it before. We got to go out there and see how we test these guys.
So, Hubie, what do you think that game means to Miami as they take the floor here tonight?
Mike, they lost a heartbreaker the night before in Orlando and then had to travel. That's one factor. Number 2, there are 5 games during the season that you can't control as a coach. Some you lose, some you win. And that is one that you just throw out. It was a back-to-back game after a depressing loss in Orlando, blowing a big lead. And then you had to travel. And then the 17 for 28 threes that San Antonio made. It's just an awesome stat.
James a deep 2. He missed it. Jamal McGlure is in for Miami. Nice bounce. Ginobili to Parker. Oh, and the collision. LeBron hit the stanchion. The stanchion seems to be okay.
Well, LeBron runs everything down, Mike. No doubt about it. He comes from the rear and blocks a ton of shots.
James knocks out the outside jumper for his first field goal. The Spurs lead here by 3. McGlure is in off the bench. Adrianis Ilgauskas not available to Miami. Stepped on a nail at home as McDice knocks one down. A nail for construction purposes. Stepped on it. Infection in his foot. Was in the hospital getting an IV Saturday. Didn't play against Memphis. Not playing here tonight.
You can see in the early going, San Antonio's movement, foul line down, has been outstanding.
Three-pointer Mario Chalmers. And Greg Popovich's going to take another timeout here very quickly. The last timeout he took was because he was unhappy with defensive lapses on his end. And here he's going to take a 20 because of the open 3 knocked down from the top by Chalmers.
Yeah, this young guy is playing very good basketball. Chalmers is shooting a high percentage.
He's one of my favorite coaches in the league, Hubie, Greg Popovich, and he called a timeout on the last end when his team had a lapse and gave up a basket. Come right back down the first trip. Chalmers, second trip. Chalmers got that open 3. He called another timeout right away.
Yeah, but this is about teaching. This is about talking about your discipline at both ends of the floor. Someone messed up, and it's not necessarily the guy who ended up playing Chalmers.
Matt Bonner has checked in along with George Hill for the Spurs. 10 to shoot as Hill, the third guard on this team, through Jefferson's hands and turned over.
Yeah, Jefferson was trying to go that time on the drive before he caught the ball. You could see he took his eye off it. He was looking to go baseline.
Wade backing down on Hill.
I like that. See, that's good strategy. All right, you survey the situation. Hill's going to play Wade. Wade's going to post him up. Hit the side, go down and post up, go right in.
Chalmers hit the deck defensively. Jefferson's drive finds Hill. Great ball movement here. It ends up in a Jefferson 3.
Oh,
Duncan pushed in the back. Foul on the Spurs. First on tip.
Now keep an eye right here on Wade backing down. You see he cleared his man and got the space with that lead forearm. But he loves to post up on that left side of the floor. Anytime they come down the court over half and he hits the wing and he runs a shuffle cut off a back screen and you have to play the post up first.
Duncan out, DeJuan Blair in. Juwan Howard, Jalen Rose's Fab 5 teammate a couple of decades ago. Still going. The one guy still banging LA here in the NBA. He's in the lineup.
Okay, they're not even wasting time. They're starting him off in the post.
Good job by George Hill to deny the entry. Jefferson to the deck to take it away. Nice. Stolen by Wade. Chalmers.
One thing about Wade and LeBron James, you just can't clear the area. You have to understand they're going to stay there if there's a pileup in the backcourt and go for the steal.
7 in a row for the Heat. They lead by 2. Blair sets the screen. Bonner, best in the league, shooting 3. Over 50%.
We're seeing great defensive rebounding at both ends of the floor. No second shot attempts. Yeah, they're wearing this out. They're going to force you to double team.
Wade lets the traffic clear. The double comes. LeBron fakes a 3. In for 2.
Oh, yes.
With the left hand.
Not bad. Not bad on that jump stop.
9-0 run Miami. Defensive end is starting this run.
And the Heat are doing a good job now once they got past the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Parker from the outside, no. Juwan Blair is holding McGlure. And a foul is called on San Antonio as we hit a timeout under 2. See a left hand here? Hey, sure, I'll go up. Nah, I'll go this way. Too pretty, no words needed. Heat lead by 4.
Best in class, 0 to 60. And it's not from Germany. Best in class fuel efficiency at 30 miles per gallon. And it's not from Japan. Best in class 5-year, 60,000-mile
NBA countdown at 7:30 Eastern Time.
I like what's happened now with the substitution. Everyone is getting a chance and getting opportunities to score. San Antonio, Jefferson, Ginobili, and Parker, 2 for 11 at this time.
LeBron went right at Juwan Blair off the feed, didn't make it. Mike Miller checked in the game at the timeout for the Heat, replacing Dwayne Wade. George Hill, Matt Bonner, Juwan Blair, part of that good San Antonio bench this year. Bonner spinning, putting it on the deck. Jefferson with 3 to shoot. In some trouble. Blair and McGlure battle. It is off of the Spurs. Deep ball.
We said that after about 3 to 4 minutes, Miami has changed their defense, and they are really attacking the three-point shooters. Now, at that timeout, San Antonio was 0 for 5 in threes, but give them, Miami, a ton of credit because they're playing the dribblers extremely tough, forcing the kickouts and then closing out.
Mike Miller off the curl. A deep 2 is knocked down by Miller. Such a good shooter, but so few opportunities to shoot compared to the rest of his NBA career.
Yeah, Mike, but you know the old story. He's a veteran guy. He's averaged shade under 14 points a game throughout his career. He's already at 41% now in threes. He's feeling his way with this new group.
11-0 run for Miami. He'd have a foul to give here in the last minute. Jefferson ends the drought with a 3. Richard Jefferson, who reworked his shot and his entire game in the offseason. A very good start. Has plateaued a bit since. Miller working now inside on Hill. They're taking Hill to the box often. James a 3. Nice rebound by Juwan Blair, second year out of Pittsburgh.
See, now Mike Miller was double-teamed that time. That opens up LeBron. But I thought that Mike Miller, he should have taken Hill right away. He had the opportunity to post him up and shoot over the top.
Foul to give. 2-second difference in the clock, and Chalmers gives the foul at the top. You know, Hubie, we have Mario Chalmers out there for Miami. Eric Spoelstra, their coach, who gets no credit when they win. He only gets blamed when they lose.
Well, that's when you sign on as a professional basketball coach.
Is it?
That's part of the deal.
Is that line 9 of the contract?
Games, that's right. The coaches lose the game. Come on.
Spoelstra says he will stay with a pure point guard, whether Chalmers or Bibby, on the floor almost all 48 minutes. He feels they're better organized that way.
Well, the defense here with Chalmers is excellent. You got to make those. So that's at least the third one that they've been inside in that painted defensive area, and they have not been able to score the ball.
Well, it's better than 36-12 down after one quarter. That was the case in San Antonio 10 days ago. After one, Miami leads the best team in the NBA by 3.
Welcome back to Miami, joined by Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. And Coach, before the game, you expressed curiosity in seeing how both teams started, what kind of focus based on recent history. What was your impression of the start of both teams?
Oh, I was pleased. I thought we came out competitive and aggressive, so it was fine.
And no surprise, Miami's big three have done the majority of the scoring for them. What's your defensive philosophy against them?
Well, we try to keep them away from the rim as much as we can. If they can shoot jump shots, that's probably better than layups.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Well, he's right on the money. He'll allow them to take the jump shots. There's no doubt about that. But this is the problem right here. They're getting into the painted area. They've already scored 12 points in the paint, and they're going to the foul line now for 2 foul shots. You say, well, what's the big deal? At the other end of the floor, my 3 perimeter guys, meaning San Antonio, can't get to the rim off the dribble except in transition. Right now, Jefferson, Ginobili, and Parker are 3 for 13, so you know now that Eric Spoelstra, he's happy because he's keeping them away from the rim.
One more coming from Bosch. There was a lot of talk about Miami's half-court offense and analyzing it. Can they get comfortable and in spaces? Well, in the Laker game, with all 48, like you said, and Memphis, and thus far tonight, it looks like a different and a better offense, not an individual-based offense.
Well, the big thing that you're looking for is the movement of the basketball, and whatever they call, whatever they decide to run in certain situations.
Blair attacks and scores as they came out and doubled on Hill.
Well, Mike, Miami's doing an excellent job doubling the dribbler coming off any pick and roll. Now it's up to the dribbler to find the roll guy, whether he rolls or he spots up for the medium jump shot.
Mike Bibby and Joel Anthony have checked in for the Heat. Bosch was held by Bonner, and that's 2 on Matt. Matt says I had just the forearm across and 1 hand on him, which is legal, but Joey Crawford said 2 hands, 2 fouls.
We're going to show you. You can see right there, he pushed it off, and Joey didn't think that he had a bent arm. The big thing here is to continue to go at Bosch and Bonner. There you go. Bonner can't match up with him. He's too quick for him, Mike. And then if you lay off him for the play to dribble, Bosch can make that 17, 18-foot jump shot.
Beat by 5. Gary Neal, great rookie season in the game. Bonner didn't make a clean catch, so chased off the line. Blair, the tip, knocks it in. DeJuan Blair, and you may remember back, wasn't drafted because when they looked at his knees medically, the cartilage and the problems with the ligaments, many teams were concerned. At 6'7", doesn't look like he's going to get many boards, but all he does is keep plays alive and be a very productive player.
Well, I like the fact that they took a gamble. They took him on the 2nd round at that 36 pick. He delivered for them. And now when you say 9-man rotation, when they're out there and they have Bonner, Hill, Neal, and Blair out there, those 4 guys give them 37 points a game.
Nice pick and roll. Screen and roll with Miller and Joel Anthony, who rarely gets involved in the offense. The Heat get the lead back up to 5. Jimmy defensively on Hill. From the top, Neal.
Right now, San Antonio is having trouble with the 3-point game. There's no doubt about it.
1 of 7 from behind it. Off the James miss. It's Hill bringing it out for the Spurs.
At both ends now. That's why we tell you, both of these teams play good half-court defense. Very few second-chance opportunities. You've got to be able to get an offensive rebound. Both teams highly ranked, taking care of their defensive board.
First foul there on Mike Bibby, who hit all 5 of his 3-pointers against Memphis. He's played 6 games with the Heat. The last one clearly his best. Blair put it on the deck. Knocked down. Joel Anthony comes down.
Well, he was intimidated, no doubt about it. Anthony is a terrific shot blocker, one of the best in the league. This unit, Mike, I'm sorry, excuse me, they've got to get out in transition. They've got to make some things happen in the open floor.
For the Spurs. Ginobili, as you feel they're too half-court to be successful?
Yeah, right now. You know why? Because Miami can match them with their half-court defense, and outside of Ginobili and Hill, very few guys out there can beat their man.
Beautiful bounce from LeBron. Bosch to finish. He's having a great quarter, and Greg Popovich will take a timeout. 6 points in the first 3 minutes of this second quarter for Chris Bosh.
I like what we're seeing here. You're seeing good basketball. Here comes your trap. There's your beautiful pass. The rotator was late. The rotator is there, but no, watch how. He doesn't take the charge. Bonner shies away. If he takes it in his chest, it would have been going the other way.
I'm Heather Cox in Miami. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires for superior performance inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. The Heat lead 30-23. QB Chris Bosh, big impact early on.
Well, he's having a nice all-around game. There's your screen and roll to the basket. He has 2 jump shots made and 2 drives to the basket. You lay off him, he'll hit that 17-footer. Once again, he can roll. See, earlier in that 5 games where they lost, he would pick and pop and stay outside. Tonight, and in these 2 previous games, he's rolling and he's catching and scoring below the foul line area.
All bench except for Ginobili for the Spurs. Manu attacks and scores.
Well, you'd like to also get on the foul line when you're on the road in that situation. Especially when there's contact and you go down.
Ginobili works his way into the scorebook. They continue to go to Bosh right around Bonner to the basket. And a foul is called on Blair. You know, we talk about Chris Bosh, and one thing he brought up last week, QB, when things were bad and his team had lost 5 of 6, he wanted the ball more. We asked him about that this morning.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't blame anybody but myself. I don't like to point fingers. I never do that. My teammates don't. They don't deserve anything like that. I just wanted to make sure that I said that it was my fault that I did be assertive and go down to the block and try to get this team more paint points, and I put it all on me.
Well, I like that. And mainly because now, in the last 2.5 games, that's exactly what he's doing. On every screen and roll, he's not popping and taking the easy way out looking for the jump shot. He's rolling down inside, and then he's taking the body contact. So not only now is he scoring, but he's getting to the foul line. And I like the fact that he's shooting over 60% along with all that.
Bosh has 8 of the 10 in the quarter for Miami. Ginobili got trapped on that drive, but he got fouled by Bibby. Fans don't agree, but it's 2 on Mike Bibby. And Hubie to counter Bosh, and we said during the time, I said to you, Miami just looks bigger and too big. One-on-one matchups here with San Antonio. McDyess has come back in.
Well, he had to do that. Pop had to do that because McDyess is a more physical player than Bonner, and he's quicker, and he's a better defender and also a better rebounder.
Keep missing the 3. George Hill missed that. Spurs 1 of 8 from Tripletown here in the first half.
Yeah, we're talking about the fact they're 1 for 8, but they have not taken a foul shot. Oh, my.
Joey Crawford says it was in the cylinder. Offensive interference, no basket.
I think the amazing thing here is watch as he misses this shot. All of a sudden, there's no white shirts rebounding, and Wade follows the shot and gets up there. Now, see, that ball was coming off the rim. It did not have a chance to go into the basket. It was not over the cylinder. It was coming off the rim. Oh, bad ball.
On the deflection, Bosh takes it away, and here come the Heat.
Right now, the Spurs are starting to get a little tight now about their movement, mainly because they cannot get to the rim. Everything on the perimeter is not going their way, shooting a very poor percentage on 3-point shots.
This is going to be on Manu Ginobili, and it's in the act. So we'll get some free throws coming, and Greg Popovich can't believe that it's in the act. Greg Popovich and Joey Crawford with not their first or their last back and forth. They chant MVP, and Wade has played like one, especially in the last few months. National TV coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow. Dallas and Portland, 10 Eastern. Oklahoma City, Miami, we'll be right here for that. Dallas, Golden State on ESPN Wednesday. TNT back at it next Tuesday. Chicago, Atlanta. Phoenix at the Lakers. And our next ABC Sunday doubleheader will be Suns at Spurs, Nuggets at Lakers. That'll be Sunday, April 3rd for that ABC doubleheader. And remember, Magic Lakers up next here on ESPN. We've got an Elite 8 in the NBA. and 4 of them are on our doubleheader here tonight. Ginobili into Miller, going to go the other way. Manu called for the offensive foul.
Well, you can see the frustration. The offense is rolling. They're taking the ball from side to side. They're getting their screen and rolls. This was an easy call. Manu dips the shoulder and catches the defender in the chest. Now, Miami's half-court defense, after that first 3 to 4 minutes, has been outstanding.
It has really sparked this 23-9 run for the Heat. Wade missed it. Miller goes up and gets the rebound. Bibby 3. Crash of the glass by Wade on the back end. He has really been active rebounding and defending in the last week.
Remember, we told you about minutes with Tim Duncan. He has not come back in.
Gary Neal missed. Bosch. Wade on the run. Bosch to follow.
Yeah, they're just out-hustling them, out-scrapping them on loose balls, holding them to one shot attempt, and dominating now on that offensive board. They're making things happen. But I like the half-court defense, Mike. They're playing all of this screening on the baseline beautifully.
McDyess misses just 6 points for the Spurs in the quarter. Bosch couldn't complete. 5 on 4 San Antonio. Hill gets inside. Parker-esque floater.
Yeah, he needed that. Also, remember now, Hill and Neal get you over 20 points a game. The 2 guards that are out there in that San Antonio second unit. They are struggling. They just can't get good looks at the basket.
Wade's 3rd field goal. He has 8.
Well, they're taking advantage of the second unit, no doubt about it. They're going right at them, and they're really getting good looks. And everything I like at Miami is a high percentage shot. Look out.
Hill saved it. Nothing easy, not even the passes for the Spurs. Gary Neal had a tough release. All this with James on the bench. Wade, fancy. Free throws coming. Miami dominating the field this first half, and a standing ovation from their fans at American Airlines Arena. Chris Bosch has 14. Wayne Wade has 8. The Heat looking like everybody thought they'd look all year against a good team.
And Hubie in Miami.
All right, Hannah, we'll see Oklahoma City in here in Miami on Wednesday. I want to remind you, as Spurs and Heat get together, it's time for our H&R Block Never Settle performance. Of course, we're talking college basketball around the Final Four, the national championship game in San Antonio 2008. Mario Chalmers, that big hoop over Derrick Rose of Memphis, led Kansas to the national championship. Mario, one of many players in this game who has Final Four and NCAA tournament experience, helping KU get that crown in 08 over that terrific Memphis team. This guy, the line, Dwayne Wade, single-handedly led Marquette to the 03 Final Four. Had a triple-double against Kentucky in the regional final. Mike Bibby, a champion. Jamal McGlure as well, a 98 champion with Kentucky. Mike Miller hit a great buzzer beater in that 2000 run to the championship game. Buzzer beater in the opening round. And Wade led Marquette to the Final Four in New Orleans, but Kansas eventually lost to Syracuse. Somehow, someway, I'm going to find a way to mention that Syracuse championship whenever possible.
Well, Pop is right back to his starting lineup right now. Before he substituted, they were ahead 16-14.
Jefferson missed it. Duncan fighting inside to get the hoop. And boy, when Duncan's out, this team does not have that length and that ability inside.
Well, 2 things are killing them, Mike. They're 1 for 8 in threes. They have not taken a foul shot, and their bench was 3 for 11. Very little production.
Couple of screens for Wade, who gets to Anthony. Joel Anthony and Juwan Howard joining LeBron, Dwayne, and Mike Bibby. And again, all 48 minutes, Spoelstra wants to keep Bibby or Chalmers on the floor. George Hill out of the corner. McDyess tipped it.
A big difference, see, with McDyess in there along with Duncan. McDyess will go in and take the physical banging at 6'9".
Duncan had LeBron fronting him. 8 to shoot. Parker looks up at the clock. He can go by Bibby. Mike did a nice job staying in front of him. But it ends up a McDyess cleanup.
Well, McDyess is a great rebounder. Not a good rebounder, a great rebounder. And before the knee surgery, he was one of the explosive rebounders that we had at both ends of the floor.
8 points, 5 rebounds for one of the class veterans in the league, McDyess. Off the Wade miss. Chance for San Antonio to get a little bit closer here. Blocked by Wade. James on Jefferson. Fouled him. Trying to hold him just so he wouldn't get off a shot, and that gives you an idea of LeBron's strength. Jefferson's a big dude.
Now watch this block. Now that's just great rotation. Dwayne Wade. Wade had 5 blocks against Memphis the other night. Now right here, you can see the foul. No doubt about it. Force LeBron James to go to the foul shot. We know that Wade and LeBron both attempt over 8 a game. They are 4th and 5th in foul shot attempts. Dwight Howard leads the league at over 11 a game.
Greg Popovich said, let's keep the big 3 off the line. Those guys are shooting nearly 24 shots a game. You keep them in front of you. Don't let them drive by you. Keep them off the free throw line. Let them shoot contested 2s.
Sounds easy.
Very easy.
Come on.
I thought it was no-brainer.
Well, I think that's a good game plan.
That's right. Just find me the 5 who can do it. Right?
That's right.
Western San Antonio had made its name for a long time, but the defensive ranks on these Spurs not as good as the championship years, both 03-05-07.
I like what we saw there. Once again, San Antonio up strong on the screen. And then what they're going to do is they're going to force you to pass the basketball. That was a bad attempt by Jefferson because Duncan was open on the left side. That would have been a very difficult rotation by the baseline rotator for Miami. Oh, bad pass.
Bad pass by Hill. Taken away by Bibby. Lob James. Off the glass, and then LeBron steps out of bounds.
Yeah, bad pass. It's hard to miss LeBron in the open field, all right? I mean, it's hard because, let's face it, no matter where he is, he's going to jump out of the gym almost at that try to retrieve it.
That's right. Try to involve Bibby in some screen and roll action.
Oh, good.
Hill foul by Wade up the top. Oh, he did the look away, and
now watch.
You should look away.
Watch to the right. Watch to the right of the screen. You're going to see it come up here now. Even if LeBron caught it, there was no place to go. He was already behind the backboard once he made the catch and landed.
San Antonio, best road record in the NBA, tied with Dallas at 23-9. It's a big reason why. Tim Duncan, such a presence on the road. One to shoot, Jefferson.
Tough shot. Tough shot, and that was an excellent shot. I like the fact that he read the clock, Mike, because as soon as he got to the foul line, he took a look. Read the clock perfectly.
Eric Spoelstra will take timeout. San Antonio starters coming back in, getting a little bit more of a foundation for the Spurs. 2:45 to go here in Miami. Heat by 9. Seeds, by the way, as the NIT is again seeded by region this year. Coverage here on ESPN. And you've seen the teams tonight, El Heat, Los Spurs. It's another Noche Latina. A lot of these here in late February, March. With the teams that have a Latin population, strong Latin population in their market. Certainly the case here in Miami and down in San Antonio. Wade leans in, got the foul, got the basket.
Now, you like to see a team come out of a huddle and run a set play. Now, that was a dribble handoff for Wade, but LeBron James comes up the lane. Watch LeBron James set that screen. See, they get the switch. So if he can't take him one-on-one, LeBron has a guard in that 17-foot area. That was beautifully executed.
Couple of fouls on Jefferson. Wade named today Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Mike, right now, San Antonio still struggling, 1 for 9 in threes, and they have not taken a foul shot. At the other end, that is 13 out of 14 made foul shots by Miami.
Bosh and Wade, 19 of the 23 here in the corner, and the foul on Bibby. He picks up yet another one as Parker just shakes him.
Anytime that Bibby is playing, either Hill or Tony Parker off the job. Well, they're making a substitution right now. They've been able to get an advantage and then force dropping or force rotating.
That's 3 fouls on Bibby, not 2. He was going to go to the bench anyway and bring Chalmers back in the game.
That's a clear out.
Duncan watched by the Canadian-born McGlure.
Nice.
Wade slapping down, going to pick up the foul, or they're going to give it to McGlure.
That was a beautiful head fake by Duncan.
McGlure's going to accept the foul. His first. Well, we talking NCAA tournaments. Tim Duncan took Wake Forest on a deep run, 1 step shy of the Final Four. Other Spurs there. DeJuan Blair in Pittsburgh to the Sweet 16. Matt Bonner, 2000 championship game like Mike Miller we talked about. You got Duncan and Jefferson. That's just among the Spurs. Also over there on their bench, Steve Novak was a teammate of Dwayne Wade's Marquette Final Four run. Novak was a freshman on that Wade-led team.
Once again, they go right down in there to Wade versus Hill.
McGlure allowed to go to work offensively. Wade keeps the triple on.
Oh, you got to keep an eye on him because he averages over 5 rebounds a game.
Spurs bench in disbelief that George Hill was the one whistles for the foul.
Mike, I'm in agreement with that. Just watch. He just runs right over the defender. You got to see it right there. That's an offensive foul. That's not even close. And the unfortunate thing for them is now you're sending Wade to the foul line for 2 foul shots.
Wade, Bosch, and James have come to the line 11 times tonight, made them all. Now 12. Toyota halftime show coming up with Hannah Storm, Jalen Rose. Celtics nail-biter against the Nets. And Jalen's NBA Final Four predictions coming up. And Jalen, outstanding job on the Fab 5 movie that aired last night. A lot of guys around college basketball, the NBA, were watching. Juwan Howard, of course, Jalen's teammate. Many people talking about that today, so congrats on a job well done. We have 2 film producers in the studio. Hannah did a great job in her 30 for 30 with Martina and Chrissy in tennis one. Ginobili chance for a 3-point play.
God, San Antonio's been waiting for this. This is just a great extension. Watch how he extends once he elevates, right here. And then is able to play the glass beautifully. Up until now, that's about his 3rd opportunity. That's the first one that went down in traffic.
No fouls to give either way. Back into this opening half. 2 of the best teams in the league head-to-head. Wade knew it was off right away. Jefferson the other way.
Chalmers, he just missed LeBron James. He had Tony Parker posted up, and he went to the other side of the floor.
There goes Duncan off the window from the wing. 8-point game.
See, if this is a playoff game, you're on him on that. You're all over him, okay? He can't miss a guy like that. Because now, instead of it going from 10 to 12, all we are now is going from 10 to 8.
James somewhat quiet offensively in the first half. McGlure and Bosch. And Chris Bosch in another big half.
McGlure is just in there. He's banging people around. He's doing a nice job. He's not looking to score the ball. So anytime that he makes a catch and there's defenders in between, look for the pass.
Chance to get a good 2-for-1 if the Spurs go quickly here.
Hey, you got to let him work.
Rebound Chalmers with 32 seconds to go.
Well, McGlure played Timmy well that time. Forced a fadeaway jump shot. See, this is a guard, small forward. See, LeBron, they got the switch again.
James missed it. Last shot for the Spurs.
Plenty of time here. Plenty of time.
Ginobili, Duncan, Jefferson. Halftime. Good defensive half for Miami. 19 allowed in the first quarter, 20 in the second.
Well, just think now, San Antonio averages 103 a game. They're 6th highest in the league. So give Miami great credit. They played well. Double teaming and rotating, excellent.
You saw Bosch at 16. Heather's the only one to stop him in the half.
I don't even know if I can do that, Mike. Chris, nice first half, an entirely different team than we saw against the Spurs 10 days ago. In your mind, what's changed?
Well, I mean, we saw a lot of mistakes that we did, errors on offense and on defense. I mean, they're a great team. They made us move and they made us work, but mentally we just weren't there, so we wanted to have a good start to this game.
This morning you talked to me about the Spurs' ability in the paint, both to penetrate and to post up. How have you stopped that tonight?
Well, I mean, we just have to pay attention to him. We have to kind of make Tim post out further than what he wants to, and we just have to close out under control, and the help has to be there early, and when they dish it out, we're going to have to scramble. You know, it's not easy, but if we want to win, we have to keep doing it.
All right, good luck. We'll let you get back to your team. Mike?
Chris Bosch, who's had a couple of good games the last two from the field, adding to it. He is 23 of 36 shooting in the last 10 quarters. Hannah Storm, Jalen Rose standing by. Toyota halftime show. We'll check in on what's going on around the NBA, and Jalen will talk who he thinks will be the Final Four in the NBA playoffs. Here at the break, two teams definitely in that mix, and Miami leading San Antonio by 10.
Outstanding. Now keep an eye on this. It's an excellent rotation. Wade gets a shot block. Magellan's coming down in. Wade gets a steal. It's everyone pitching in. See, they're chasing you down, and they're forcing bad passes back to the top. Now right here, this is an intimidation by Anthony with the shot block. 39% as a team shooting for San Antonio. Now you can see Bosch, Wade, and James. Bosch and Wade are off playing extremely well. And then LeBron James basically is rather quiet in this game up until this point.
Great. It all adds up to a 10-point Miami lead before the third quarter. There's Heather.
My Greg Popovich is actually surprisingly optimistic. He said we hung in there when we definitely could have folded. We're 1 of 10 from three-point line, so what do we need to do? We need to get to the rim, get to the line. The other problem, they said we've gotten out of our drive and kick game. People are trying to do it too much on their own, which has created opportunities for the Heat. Mike?
Okay, Heather, thank you. Same 10 that started the game, start the quarter, and easy jumper for Wade to start this second half. And Greg Popovich is disgusted that there was such an easy look in the first.
Absolutely, Mike. He was wide open.
54-12, San Antonio. Very few losses on the year, but a loss to the Lakers 8 days ago had some questioning this team. Of course, Miami trying to get another win against one of the elite teams in the league. The only team with a great record, a top record they've defeated, the Lakers twice. Bosch denied by McDyess, goes right back at him, bumps him. I'm going to call that on McDyess.
Now, I'm kind of surprised that was on McDyess. He has the right to complain because once Bosch made the move, he catches him with a forearm. Now you're going to see it. Now just watch what happens here. Not there. Now right there. All right, he's looking. McDyess played him as well as you can play him. Now that can go either way. Unfortunately for McDyess, not tonight. The foul line has been a big factor in this game. San Antonio 2 for 3. Miami now 15 for 16. Miami is third in the league. Foul shot attempts. They have 28 a game. Oklahoma City at 29. Denver at 30.
14 more makes, 14-point lead for the Heat. Their largest. Miami trying to win their third consecutive game after losing 5 of 6 in a very publicized bad stretch. Ginobili missed the 3.
Well, Chambers and Wade and LeBron have done an excellent job on Ginobili, Parker, and Jefferson.
Wade on the miss. Spurs 1 of 11 shooting threes, and they're making 8 per game and shooting at a very high percentage this year. Third time McDyess has hit that shot here tonight.
Remember tonight where we told you McDyess and Duncan, they're doing what they normally do. They're getting the shots 10 to 15 to 17 feet, knocking them down. Unfortunately, the perimeter guys are struggling, and they're not getting good looks.
Chalmers outside 3. Mario Chalmers, after the acquisition of Mike Bibby, first couple of games looked like he was going to be knocked down emotionally by Bibby coming in and getting his minutes. Chalmers has responded, and I think he's playing his best basketball of the year.
I agree, Mike. He's shooting 38% in threes, and he's doing a terrific job defensively.
Best ball movement of the night for the Spurs. Gets Parker a three.
Remember now, Tony Parker is leading the guards in field goal percentage this year. He's number 1 at 52%. Plus, he's shooting the three ball up at 39%. For him, that's great percentage.
His 21st made three of the season. Bosch and Chalmers working a little two-man. LeBron attacks off the weak side. In one.
I like what Chalmers did there. As he was driving the baseline, he's behind the board. He finds LeBron. LeBron just splits the traffic. Watch this. Right in between McDyess and Duncan. Now, you know Duncan has got to pick his spots now. It's not like the old days when he was playing with Nesterowicz or David Robinson or Muhammad. We know that they always had two shot blockers on the floor at all times. Now it's not like that. He's the only shot blocker, so he has to be careful and pick his spots to go for the blocks because of unnecessary foul.
Equaling largest lead of the night. Miami plus 15. Lost by 30 10 days ago in Texas. Nice job by Ginobili to get inside.
Now, remember what we always say this. The Miami Heat have given you great half-a-game defenses in the 5 losses that they had. And the only loss was against San Antonio. The other 4, their defense was superb at halftime. As they moved to quarters 3 and 4, things broke down. Let's see if they can give you 48 minutes.
Bosch too strong on the jumper. Ginobili tried to hit ahead. There was nothing there. Turnover. James ahead of speed.
Bad percentage. Bad angle.
Good tip by McDyess to knock it out of bounds. You mentioned David Robinson a moment ago. It was a game against Miami for the Spurs in '96 that may have changed the course of franchise history. In that game, David Robinson broke a bone in his left foot. Spurs went on to miss the playoffs that year, which they wouldn't have if Robinson was healthy. Win the lottery, get the number 1 pick, get Tim Duncan. Rest is history.
That was a nice selection, wasn't it?
It worked out okay, didn't it?
I hope that guy got a raise, right?
Right.
No. And then when you put Duncan alongside David Robinson, you had 2 of the best defenders at center and power forward, 2 of the best in the history of this game.
I just hurt my elbow in that deflection as I was talking to you. It's an odd angle. I might not be able to make it for Wednesday.
Oh, no.
This is going to be going the other way on Miami and Dampier.
The Spurs need a shot in the arm here right now, whether it's a 3-ball or getting to the basket. I just want to see Miami. I'm telling you, this has been very encouraging for their coaching staff. They're matching one of the best offenses that space the floor, come up the floor, run screens, staggered screens, double screens all night, and they have been matching it with their defensive effort.
Duncan sets the screen. Dampier's waiting for Parker.
That's right. Give Dampier all the credit on that one.
Ginobili hustling back. Calls for the foul. LeBron's telling Chalmers, throw it ahead. You got me right, Dwayne left. Get it up, get it out, get going.
Yeah, that's what you try to get to a lot of young point guards. You got to tell them, get the ball up ahead. Stop with the dribbling. You get the ball up ahead, that forces the defense to commit. And if it's a 2-on-1, you'll get the ball back.
Chalmers in his 3rd year in the league. 2nd-round pick by Minnesota. Bosch, who was red hot in the first half, has missed a couple here in the second.
Yeah, McDyess had to leave Bosch that time, Mike, to double team the dribbler.
Beautiful feed.
Great block.
What a block by Wade. He got Duncan on that one.
Remember we told you now, the other night against Memphis, he had 5 blocks.
Bosch inside, fouled by Duncan. They had 11 blocks in that game. Wade had 5 of them.
Now this is just a great extension. I like what we read today, and that is that Dwayne Wade said that he's concentrated on his defense since the All-Star game. He wanted to improve in that area. Now we know that he is such a great all-around player. Not only does he give you the points at 25.5, but he gives you close to 7 rebounds at that 2-guard position, as well as 5 assists. And for the first time now, he's shooting 50% from the floor. Now that is just a great stat for him.
Bosch at the line. This has been a very relieving week, if you will, for Wade. He was awarded custody of his 2 children as his divorce proceedings been going on for over a year. Came to an end. He enrolled them in school earlier today down here in South Florida. Parker the teardrop no. Dwayne told his teammates about it in the locker room after Saturday's game and was elated that he was able to have his 2 children down here with him in South Florida.
And they've been getting this switch all night long, Mike. And it's a guard, small forward screen.
Chalmers knocks it down. And the lead is 17.
I like how he's answered the bell, Mike. You covered it. With the bringing of Bibby here, this guy is playing terrific basketball. Defensively, and then shooting the ball well.
Was there, the little deflection disrupting Parker, but he fouled it. And that'll count. Goal 7.
That's all right. You always tell your shot blockers, go for it anyway. Right? Go and try to get that block, because you never know the next time whether the guy will want the contact or not.
Just the 4th free throw attempt of the night for the Spurs. Parker makes it. Lead is 14. Miami's been up 17 just before that. San Antonio did lead briefly at the midpoint of the first quarter. Miami just looks a little quicker and a little bigger here tonight. And a little better. Timeout. San Antonio as Bosch knocks it down at 16 points in the first half of this third quarter for the Heat.
Mike, that's Wade on the UCLA cut. He comes up the floor, he passes the ball to the left wing, he gets a back screen at the top of the circle, and he posts himself or he takes it all away.
And on the other end, it was the defense of Dwayne Wade, who's put a big emphasis on that part of his game. One of the reasons he's the player of the week in the NBA.
Swarm them. Keep on getting to these guys. Make them put the ball on the floor. Real smart basketball. That's good basketball, guys. Now, the last thing we got to finish up is we just got there, okay? That ball's dancing around. Elevate, okay? Elevate, tip it off to somebody else. We got to have group rebounds right now.
A lot of criticism and scrutiny of Spoelstra at 40, youngest coach in the league, but certainly experienced in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Heat. And from a basketball family, his dad, very long time involved in the NBA. John, an executive. He was raised in Portland. And as he was being raised in Portland, Eric was playing basketball in college in Portland. He was the point guard for the Portland Pilots and was the freshman of the year. Every time we bring up Eric's playing career to him, he always downplays it. We threatened him with photos. He said, no, please do not show those, as LeBron comes to the line. Duncan picked up his 4th. We have more than photos. We have Eric Spoelstra playing for the Portland Pilots. This is a school that's only been to the NCAA tournament twice, but Spoelstra out there in the West Coast Conference. Not too bad, the point guard off the dribble there.
Well, he was an excellent player. He was an excellent in every position that Pat Riley put him in with this franchise.
Yes.
He excelled. And now he's doing a terrific job with this team. It's a situation as the head coach of this club. We know that they're expected to win every game. When they talk about why didn't they win those close games in the last 10 seconds, well, the players shot 1 for 18 in those games. And then you say, well, who took the shots? Well, LeBron James and Wade were 1 for 12. I don't think that the coaching staff, they make the calls, but you have to make the shots. And unfortunately, things did not go well. But when you are a professional basketball coach, you understand what the lay of the land is. In high school and college, the coaches win all the games, the players lose the game. In pro basketball, the players win the games, the coaches lose the game. You have to understand that and be a hard a hard person mentally about that. That's part of being a professional coach.
And you say that, and there's kind of a ha-ha to that, but there's a great sincerity to it.